right. We back out here. Kicks on stage. How you doing? My name is Justin.
My name is Christian.
We are ready for another exciting episode. We got one plan that is going to be just amazing. I can feel it already.
Sheesh.
Putting up those good vibes. Christian, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man.
I'm liking this jersey you got on, bro.
You know, it's for my guest.
It's for your guest. Okay.
Our guest.
No,
Yes.
it's okay.
You
It's politically correct. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So just describe to the people a quick heat check. What you got on here? What's your drip?
Top to bottom?
Yeah.
Top to bottom. I got a Supreme velour hat, textures, everything. And
Textures, everything.
I got on my Jordan White Sox jersey.
Yes.
I even got some bad boy vintage.
That's a vintage bad boy?
20-year anniversary.
Is there a hit on the back?
Yes, there's a hit on the back.
So what's on the back?
Has everybody. Has the Locks, has Lil Kim, has Diddy, Mace. Whoever was on that tour is on the back of my shirt.
I need that shirt. Okay, anyway. Sorry, continue. Yes, sir.
My shirt is tucked in because it's proper for our guest, This is style.
It's style.
I got some Naked and Famous cargos on.
Okay.
And some Bread One Lows.
Bread One Lows.
Yeah.
It's a very...
also for our guest.
Some Jordan with the Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a vibe. I like that.
What about you, sir?
I'm feeling very Toronto-esque today. That's why I feel like our guest represents Toronto, so therefore we're going to represent Toronto from head to toe. We got the OVO on the top. We got the OVO vest right here, the turtleneck. I don't know if it could be Uniqlo. It could be Uniqlo. It could be. We got the Nike track pant, and we got the patent leather Air Force Ones.
Jeez.
Air Force Ones. There you go. It can't be a Toronto thing if you don't wear some Air Force. Some clean white Air Forces or Uptowns.
Uptowns.
If you want to get the politically correct, the New Yorkers.
New Yorkers out there.
It's called Uptowns.
Yeah.
So I feel like today's episode is going to be a good one because the energy is going to be good. The conversations are going to be good. We're going to dive into a lot of different topics. But Christian.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. Born in Montreal, raised in Rexdale, Toronto, starting out from youth groups to crews such as C2 Genesis to professional companies like the Male Initiative. Now he owns his own company called Run the Flex.
Run the Flex. Working with such amazing artists like Lupe Fiasco as well, performing on stage with Terry Crews. I can't do the chest thing, but if you know who Terry Crews is,
Old Spice.
Old Spice. He got the muscles. He got the muscles as well too. Also goes by Twin Wild Boy, the Panther, the Maestro.
Pathfinder.
What did I say?
Panther.
What the heck is wrong with me? I can't even read right now. It's a
Black Panther.
It's a Black Panther thing.
You know
Little Black Panther thing. You can't be mad at that. Let me get that again. The Pathfinder. My apologies. He is the one and the only. Please make some noise. Kicks on stage. Welcome to Mr. Aaron Aquino. Come on in, my brother. Come on in. Come on in.
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
I'm gonna do one more time. Let the applause soak in.
Come on.
Yes, you deserve that. You so rightfully deserve that.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling today, bro?
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Today.
Yeah.
Oh, today is a great day.
We're trying to, do something where, we just, we wanted the intro to be legit. I messed that name up. My apologies.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay.
Once you said Panther, I was like, I literally started bringing my hands together. I was like,
Forever.
Perfect.
Perfect. We need that next. That'll be a good little soundbite.
Perfect.
We get it right. It'd be like, perfect.
Got that Street Fighter. Perfect.
Yeah. You look very comfortable with the fit here, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What you got on here today?
Heat
What you
check
got
moment.
on? Heat check. What you got on today?
I got a Supreme varsity jacket, the old English text one. I got the Stone Island Supreme, underneath.
Right.
I had to tuck it in because you said tuck it in. So I was like, okay, I ran and just tucked in my shirt to match. Then got the Uniqlo, just simple trousers.
Yeah.
Just black trousers. And then for the feet, we got some Jordan 1 breads.
There you go. Talk about it. Let's get that.
The band ones. Let's go.
Highs.
These are the 2013. What year are this?
I think it's the 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
2016. You wear them. You wear them nice. They look good. They look clean.
Thank you.
Clean.
Thank you.
Yeah. The leather held up.
Skittish at the sole.
I was gonna say,
it's
so-
skittish at the sole.
Which is a good question. We should get into that. I don't know. I find with certain my Jordan 3s, my cement 3s, the sole,
heel, yeah.
the heel, bro.
The heel's always an issue.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I think just for dancers in general,
That's true.
like a lot of my
Heel
shoes, I
drag.
see the heel is the one part that is like
For
always like rubbed
Always.
off the most.
Yeah.
So
Is there any way to fix that?
Nah.
In your
ch-
history?
just
change
gotta-
the way you
you
walk.
just basically.
I mean, it's where your weight is, right?
That's actually it.
Also
I was
very
like,
true. Also
yeah.
very true. Right.
Unless you want to do that whole scenario where you like take out the sole and just replace it, but I'm like, who's trying to do
it's
that?
Who's trying to do
a lot of
that?
work. Unless you got a homie that can do it for you.
Exactly.
So, I really want to again say thank you, Aaron, for giving us your time today.
Thank
It's
you,
been
guys.
it's been a journey to get you here, and now we are here, rightfully so.
You're.
You're. Is that even a word? You're.
I think you could do that.
All right, we just made it up. I don't know. You're. All right.
Yeah.
You're. So, before we get into all things that encompass you, Aaron, we do want to start at the beginning. Let the people know kind of just about how did dance find you? How did you find dance? What did your first love affair come with dance?
Wow, first love affair with dance. That is, well, I think it's like such a cultural thing, like for both my families. Like I'm half Filipino, half Ghanaian, so it's like obviously both cultures have music and dance just in general. So I've always been surrounded by that. Like I think, what was it? I've watched my baptism video like once, and I saw my dad like just doing a 2-step with my mom, and I died of laughter. It was really sick. But I think like even in Ghanaian cultures, like whenever it came to parties or like weddings and stuff, it'll always be like everyone joins in, everyone sits down, eat, get up, dance, sit back down, listen, get up, dance again, drink, sit down, and it was always just that constant thing going on and on. But I'd say my sisters, my older sisters. So I have 4 sisters in total. I'm the only kid or the only boy in the family.
I was about to say the only kid. It made no really sense.
I'm the only king.
Mathematically
the only
speaking.
prince.
Okay,
I'm the
yes.
only
Yeah,
prince.
yeah.
I'm the only prince.
Are you the
But
youngest?
second youngest.
Second youngest.
But now we're all old enough, so that's all good. But my 3 older sisters, they were in crews in Montreal. I tried to ask the second oldest. I was like, "Yo, do you remember what their names were? Like what the crew was?" And she's like, "Honestly, we were teenagers. I don't remember that time." So I was like, "Cool." But yeah, we grew up in Montreal. That's where I was born. And in Park X, that was my spot. Yes, the hood.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it wasn't the hood back then. It was very nice because it was like Greek town. But during that time, like my sisters were in they created crews with like their high school friends.
Cool.
And out of the amount of times that I was like always being babysat by them, they would like always bring me with me. Like they'd always bring me there to their practices and stuff. And I'd just be like, okay. Like, you know, it's just like, it wasn't like I fell in love with it, but I'd say MJ was the one. MJ. I always copied MJ.
Was there a video or like a moment that you remember about Michael Jackson?
Oh, I was shooketh whenever I watched Thriller. Like that was the one. I'd always cry watching Thriller.
You and Justin.
I loved
Yes,
it,
yes,
but I'd
yes, yes.
cry. Like whenever it came on TV, like I would be bawling, and my dad's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Why is he dying?" I'm like, because it's always that moment where like whenever they cover him, and then it's just like, and then he comes out, and then his bone sticks out, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Right.
But then, yeah, I think I was just like also just mesmerized by MJ. Like my parents have a lot of pictures of me just staring at the TV. And it's like, it'd be like an MJ concert. And whenever he yelled, I would yell. Or like, I would like go into my parents' room, take like a white dress shirt, turn the fan on and just yell at the fan.
just
Just go, "Ah," like, you know, just being that kid. But yeah, I'd say that's where like my first love affair of dance, like it's just like MJ was the GOAT. Like he was the GOAT. And that's where I was like, okay, maybe I like this, maybe I don't like this. But it wasn't until I moved to Toronto that I started being like, okay, maybe I'll actually start like dancing with my crews and my friends and stuff. So
Dope. That's dope. Did you also fall in love with shoes that early since you were surrounded by dance so early? When did shoes come about? Sneakers, streetwear?
sneakers came through, I'd say probably like grade 8. Grade 8, I got my first pair of Jordans I got from one of my cousins, and he said to take care of these with my life.
With your life.
And then obviously you're like, what, 13? Does it look like I know how to take care of things? I'm just like, I'd wear them everywhere, anywhere. Like I ruined them. They were, oh my gosh, which one were they? Oh, it was cement 3s, and then I just destroyed them. I destroyed them. And then I tried to ask my parents for another pair of shoes, and then they're like, you could get Steve Francis Adidas shoes. And I was like,
Steve Francis.
I was like, it's not the same. It was not the same. But I was like, okay, let's go with that. It wasn't until like probably like in my late teens that's when I started like getting a lot more into sneakers, I'd say.
So you're still in Montreal at this time, or are you in Toronto now?
I was in Toronto by this time.
So like, where were you going to buy sneakers?
In Toronto?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did you have that like, oh, I'm just gonna go to Foot Locker or Champs, like, or you went to like, you know, the other spots?
The other spots. Okay. Oh, Toronto history right here. Well, obviously in Rexdale, we all went to Woodbine Mall. That was our spot. We always bought shoes.
Yo, big up to Woodbine Mall one time.
Oh my gosh. Yo, they're changing that place right now.
They are?
I was like, all right, little bougie boosh, but it's all good. But yeah, we always went to either Foot Locker at Woodbine or Sport Check, and we also had friends that worked at both locations. So it's like maybe we could get some shoes, but it wasn't until I think like grade 12 when I started like going to downtown with friends and then going to like Livestock, Goodfoot. Those are like my two favorite spots. What was it? In the Zone. That one.
What was that?
That's where the Sivu Play on
Oh,
Queen
yeah,
is.
yeah,
It
yeah.
used
Oh,
to be
yeah,
a
yeah.
sneaker spot too, and then they shut down, and then Sivu Play came through.
Right.
Oh yeah, Sivu Play was also a spot. Steele's location though. The Steele's.
The Steele's
The
location.
Steele's location. That
That's for
was
sure.
the warehouse. They used to have Jordans at one point, and then they stopped. And then it was just like womps after that.
I was there too. I was there with you buying them shoes out there, Secret Play. Oh, yes, I was.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah.
That was a spot. But yeah, I'd say for downtown, it was, Goodfoot, The Zone, Livestock. Oh my gosh, what's that spot? So Hip It Hurts, because they had all the Supras. And then I remember they used to do this one thing where it's like if you bought like shoes that were like above, I think it was like above $100, you get a free shot of Jägermeister, but you had to be 19. But I don't know if they do that.
Oh, right. You had to go up the stairs.
Where you had to go up the stairs.
Okay.
The skate
I
shop.
remember.
That was the
skate shop.
only spot. Okay, I don't know what happened with me, and I felt like it was also like a lot of like Steve Aoki when he had his high tops, and I was like, yo, these are so fresh, and like I just got obsessed with Supras, and I bought like every Supra you could possibly imagine, and that was the only spot in Toronto.
You had Supras.
I had
like,
on deck. I had
religiously.
like religiously, bro.
Religiously.
The
you
Chad
had
Muskas.
Supras.
Listen, I love my Supras. Okay, I don't know if they're still around. I don't know what's happened with that whole brand, but Supras, dope.
I never had Supras.
Pull up a Supra one time.
Same. Never
I had Creative
Supras.
Rex.
You never had.
Oh, I had Creative
I had
Rex.
Creative
too.
Rex. Talk to us about moving to Toronto and what that was like for you. You said you were raised in Rexdale, and from there you got into some youth groups with dance. So talk to us about that whole transition of Montreal to Toronto and then just moving into dance and what that area was like.
So I moved to Toronto Christmas of '99. Like that's the exact date. Like I called that was like my Black Christmas, right? Because it was like, I think that was when my dad got a new job in Toronto, but it was like all the way in Saga. So when he got that position, I remember, I think it was like, it was like literally that time, it was like, Merry Christmas, we're moving.
Wow.
Like it wasn't like, there was no preparation whatsoever. It was like, all right, we're moving. Like I think my parents, so what happened was like my dad had to leave early and like move there fast. So then he moved, and then my older sisters went with him. And so it was my little sister, myself, and my mom that stayed for like, I think it was like the last 3 months before we moved. And then that's where, out of nowhere, my mom's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're moving. And I was like, huh. I was like, Merry Christmas, new life, new friends, new school. And I was like, okay, this is okay.
The adjustment,
The adjustment, it wasn't like anything that I'd say that would be like scarring in a way. I'd say it was just like one of those moments where it was like, I think I finally understood how to adapt with things or how to adapt with change. And the funny part though is that we didn't move from like Montreal to Rex. We moved from Montreal to Galloway. So I was a Scarborough youth for a second.
Okay.
6 months. That's it. 6 months. 6 months. That's enough. That was enough. 6 months. That's all we needed. I was like, whoa. whoa, this is the hood.
Yeah.
And then that's when we moved to Rexdale, Etobicoke, North Etobicoke, and my family was a part of like this big Christian organization called Couples for Christ. Within that organizations, they had ones for teens, they had ones for kids. And so the youth group section, that's where I got to know like, or meet a bunch of like some of my close friends. One being her nanny. Her nanny's like my whole.
Shout out her nanny.
Shout out her nanny. Yo, known you for a long bro. Yeah, he was like one of my first friends when I moved to Toronto. So it's like, and then it kept on trickling down. But the cool part about that was like within the youth group, they had like events that would happen year round. So this youth group was not just like your church youth group. It was like a big organization, like an international organization. They have like different sections around the world, which first started in the Philippines and then they brought it to North America as well. So within Toronto, there was like sections. You'd have like the North York Etobicoke area. You'd have the York area. You'd have the Aurora guys. You have the Saga cats. You have the Scarborough cats. And once a year, you'd have like this big event, which we call it the pre-conference. That's where we'd have like, it would be a whole day event where it's like sports. We'd have like worship. We'd have like mass. And then we'd also have a dance competition. So each area had to create their own dance. And then there was judges that would be there to like actually like deal with that.
Our church should have done that.
I know.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, our church is very similar to yours, the one we grew up in, and
shoot.
in terms of how big it is and different areas and stuff. But they should have capitalized on that dance thing a long time ago.
100%.
Leon came from our church too, so like a lot of...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, fun fact, like even with this youth group, like this organization, like if you've heard of Praise Team.
No, I haven't.
Praise Team in Vancouver, like Scott Forsyth or like his
okay.
wife, like all those guys.
Yeah.
Like they started with that youth group. So
Okay.
Praise Team was an actual like team within like the Vancouver district.
Okay.
And then they decided to get really serious and be like, time to go to HHI and just take over the
Okay.
world kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
So it was like cool seeing them do that. So then for us, it was like, that's where I started to meet like Diamond, Greg, a bunch of other cats. They had their crew. That's why they're called C2 Genesis, because their area, they were like section 2 or C2. That was their area. We were C1 at the time. And so they decided to call themselves C2 to keep like the roots of how C2 Genesis started and then Genesis from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
History.
Flex bomb for that history right there.
History lesson right there.
History lesson. I like that.
Shout out to C2 and all those dudes.
All of them cats.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Those are
just and this was primarily, now you're more so just hip hop at this time, correct?
This was primarily more hip hop at this time. Yep.
Where did where did Crump kind of
Oh.
seep its way in through your life at this time?
So, Crump. Oh, I love I'd still say it's my favorite dance style by far. Like it will forever be with me. So my youth group leader at the time, his name is Martin Dizon. He was the director for Real Crew. We were like, I remember there was like one practice and he like took me aside and he's like, yo, I want you to watch this video. And I was like, what is this? And he said it was called Rise. At the time I think I was 15, 16. Yep. And it was funny because everyone in the crew, like in our team, could either do a backflip, could like do a windmill, could do something. And I was the guy that's like, I'm good at choreo. Like I'm good at picking up. Like I don't like to freestyle. But then that was like the first time I watched like an entire documentary on Crump and be like it just like captured me immediately. Right. And then we started watching like all the other DVDs that came out. They had one called Spiritual Warfare. And then what was cool about it is that I was like they started to bring like the word into the movement, like into the actual dance itself. And so for me, that captivated me even more and be like, oh, okay, this is more than just a dance. Like this is like actually like there's a spirituality behind this. And that's where I was like, it spoke to me in so many ways. It just felt like very relieving and just like releasing every single negativity, any feelings I had, just lash it all out and just go with it. Just let go, let God. That's what it was.
Wow.
Let go and let God.
That's great.
That's
That's great because there's a huge misconception about Crump and how it's so aggressive and you have to be angry. And we spoke to Knives about this in our previous episode. But yeah, it's a great thing that you just said that, let go and let God, because it comes from a spirituality of letting go of that negativity. So
because we asked her like, do you have to be angry to dance? She's like, no. Like sometimes when I dance, I'm the most happiest.
Oh yeah.
I'm at the most peace. And I was like, doesn't look like it. But like when you watch that documentary and you see like the ins and outs of how crumping is and like the meaning behind the movement, like why your arm is extending out like that, like there's a reason why. So there's again, to your point, there's reason behind that movement, which some people will not get just by watching off first glance.
Oh, 100%.
But you have to take the time to really understand.
It's like it's its own language, right?
Yeah.
If you don't understand the language, you'll never understand what they're saying, right? So it's unless you've like actually been educated in that, that's where you could be like, oh, okay, you could put 1 and 2 together, right? So
talk to us. So you mentioned Michael Jackson, then watching Rise, and then some crump inspirations. Talk to us about some more dance inspirations. I feel like there's some artists out there that probably caught your attention as you got older.
Oh yeah, C Breezy was another one.
Marion.
Marion, definitely. Omari, yes. So what was cool, like I remember like when the rise of both Omarion, like when Omarion became like the single artist after B2K, and then C Breezy was just coming up with Yo and all this and that, and everyone's like, what are you doing? Like what? And it was cool because that's also, after watching Rise, that's when I started seeing a lot more crump videos.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm Really Hot by Missy. That one, there's bare crump in that.
Yeah.
Yo, like, and then like he's crumping at one part, and then obviously it switches into the Gimme Dat section, which had all the crumpers in it as well. Yeah. And then, which was so different from like the second version of the music video. But yeah, C Breezy was one. Omarion's BET performance was another one, and that one was fire. I remember, who was it? It was me, Martin, her nanny, and our boy Jarek. We like studied the dance. Like we studied the dance. We like stood at I think it was at her nanny's house, and like we just like watched it, and then we like actually studied it. Like I know it. Like that, when I say studied it, I know it.
You know every ins and out.
I know it. I love the tutting section. That part is fire. Fire.
I think it's like one of those things, like, for me, I watched Leon do that a lot. Leon, when we were doing New Limit, he was watching like Britney Spears a lot and like the way Robinson and Brian Freeman choreography. But he would like sit there and just like, he would just be in a zone. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And like, he was like, oh, I'm studying it. And I'm like, okay. And then next thing you know, like in like 10 minutes, he would have the whole choreo. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know how to dance like that. What are you talking about? And then it's funny enough though, like as an earlier kid, as again, my passion with Michael Jackson, I would learn the Thriller dance. I'm like, I know it 100%. You can't tell me anything wrong about it. Then I realized when you're watching it from the TV, you're learning it backwards.
You're learning it backwards.
And I was like, oh, I thought he was kicking with his left foot. Like, no, he's kicking with his right. The television tricks. Television tricks got me. So you know the tutting section, like from like the crowd. Okay.
Do. And then you come here, you go down, you come back, bring it down, boom, 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 boom. Then they all slide in together to say, oh, that's the O part.
That is 100% a flex one right now.
I remember that one.
That is the first time on Kicks on Stage someone bust out choreo in the chair.
We need to put up the video right beside him.
Yeah, we will.
Wait. We probably have to do another take because I got to remember. It's like, hold on. Don't put me on the spot right now. Not yet.
So you see the passion and the style that these crumpers have. And obviously, like, it's a street style. And then you also have this passion and this love for street wear. Aaron, you are a legend when it comes to streetwear, my friend.
For all of us.
All of us. Well, you put a lot of people on game, myself included. I didn't know about certain stuff until I came across the paths of Aaron here. So I need you to kind of reel us in here. How and when? When did you come across street brand wear? The one that we're talking about most prominently, is Supreme.
Oh, it was actually our youth group.
Really?
Like, the youth group I was in. So Martin, the guy that introduced Crump to me, he was also like my first big homie and my mentor, like when it came to Crump. And so I remember one day he came in and he was wearing a camp cap. And I was like, Supreme, what is this? And then this was the most funniest way. I don't even know why he described it like this. He's like, all right, Supreme is like a white kid's brand, but with like black people fashion. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? It's like,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Pull that up now.
I was like, what? He's like, it's a skater brand, but it's so like it looks good on black people in general. And I was like, I don't see this. I didn't get it. I didn't get it at first. And then I remember, who was it? I think it was either Mos Def or Swizz Beats, and there was an interview, and one of them was rocking a box logo tee, and I was like, no, it was Mos Def. Mos Def was rocking a box logo tee, and I was like, one of my favorite rappers of all time is wearing a box logo tee from Supreme. I was like, okay, I need to get one. Obviously, I couldn't get one. Like, what? Who's gonna get one? But I remember what happened. Like, he started wearing it, and then it wasn't until I was like 17, 18, where I had my own money, got a job, and then paid it for myself. And then I remember Martin showed us, he was like, all right, you could go to Nomad, because Nomad used to sell Supreme.
I'm so cheese. Continue. I'm soaking.
So
in.
this is the thing. So when it came to Supreme, Nomad, it was like Nomad, and then there was like, I think 3 other Canadian spots that sold Supreme. This was before Supreme had the international shipping. So the only way for anyone during that time, so like 2007, 2008, the only way for you to get Supreme was if you had a P.O. box in the States. And like you have to go to, like, let's say Buffalo to just pick it up, right? Yeah. And then the other way was that they had contracts with other stores like outside of the States. So Nomad was one. I forgot what the other 2 were. Oh, those 2 are going to bother me for life. But Nomad was one of the first that had like a whole section of Supreme. And like it always dropped on Thursday. Like the Thursday was always a drop. But I'd always go on the Friday, because who's going to go on a Thursday? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I got school. Like, I can't leave school.
Man's got to read the books then. Yeah.
Yo, both my parents would kick my ass. If I
yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What? Immigrant parents?
Oh, my
skipping
gosh.
class?
African,
Never.
Filipino parents?
Never.
Good luck.
Nah. Can't get a B? What's a B? B means do better.
Yeah.
What? Holy. So, yeah, that's where, like, Martin introduced Supreme to me, and then he was like, yeah, just go to Nomad. And then he brought me there one time, and I was like, this is magical. I was like, wow. And then he's like, all right, we're going to go next door. And then when we went next door, that was Goodfoot. And I was like, wow, all these sneakers. Like, this is so sick. Like, the silhouettes were, like, just the way they had it organized. I was like, this was cool. Like, it was so cool.
Were you big to just, I didn't mean to cut you off, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Were you big into just the apparel? Did you like accessories? Did you like the jeans? Like, what was like your niche at that time?
You know what it was? It's like, some of the things, it wasn't like, a lot of them weren't loud. Like, it wasn't loud.
Like a brick.
Like a brick. Or like I also have the North Face Gore-Tex collabo, the one with the American flag on it. That one has so many logos. I'm like, this is loud. Like, I look like a walking advertisement. Like, that's loud to me. Like, a lot of the things that they had back then wasn't so, like, Supreme. It was like, sup.
Yeah.
Like, it'll just say sup.
Right.
So, and like the color schemes they had back then weren't like bright colors. It was just always like a nice monotone color, like the olive greens. If it was a blue, it would be like a light blue, but not like baby blue. Not too much. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't too much. So, yeah.
Were you able to cop any of the dunks, either the highs or the lows?
No. But the lows are gonna be they're on my list right now.
I sold
I'm
mine.
like, oh my gosh, how? How?
I know.
Why?
Well, I got them for a good price, and then I kept them for some time, and I should have just kept them and like resold them either now or later, or just keep them. But I got rid of them because, I don't know. I put them on one day, and I was like, these are so uncomfortable. Like, my foot was just like, I don't know, it just didn't work with me, and I wasn't wearing them. They were just sitting, which is not a bad thing, you know, like it's gonna go up. But I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make some money on this. Let me just get rid of them now, and I'm sure somebody will appreciate them more than I am right now. Even though I know it's a Grail type shoe, you know. I had the red ones, so the lows, yeah.
Size 9?
10.
Size 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not my size.
But
I'm
it felt
asking.
like a 9.5.
So if the people want to, hook Christian back up with that size 10,
yeah, let me know.
put it out there. Put that good energy out there.
Please.
It's so cheese.
Please.
I'm just thinking about all those grails you have, man. Oh man. With the way the culture is now, and how people are reselling and people are making stupid amount of money off these
Yeah.
these articles of clothing. My goodness. Anyways, have you ever got caught up in that trap? Have you ever like, you know what, once it started going this way, you're gonna remove yourself from that scene? Like, how did you navigate through like what you saw was happening in pop culture?
I think it was when the birth of Tyler the Creator started, and like when Tyler started wearing Supreme, that's where I started noticing like a big boom, and like everywhere I looked, I was like, Supreme since when? Like, when did this happen? And then I think it was like as other celebs started coming out rocking Preem, I was like, okay, the hype is getting even bigger. Did I want to become a reseller? Am I a reseller? No, not really. I'd say I respect my clothes and I love the history that why I bought these things. Like some of my tees, I still have like a bunch of my tees from when I was like 19. And like I respect that I paid for it. Like I use my own money that I worked for to get that t-shirt. And I kept it. Like I still have a bunch. But then I think what I did with like one of my dance studios, like during the pandemic, so I had like one of my classes, there's like 12 boys and they're all like ages like 10 to 13 at the time. And so we had to do our classes on Zoom, and obviously like not everyone's about the Zoom life, right? But the ones that stayed from the beginning up to the end of the season, I looked at them, I was like, all right guys, the day we're allowed to be back in studio, and I took a basket out and I was like, there's 5 hats right here. Y'all get to choose which hat you want. And it was each a Supreme hat. Like, I was like, y'all could get one. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, you deserve it. Like, you worked for it. And they're like, oh, snap. So I did the exact same thing this year. I took a bunch of tees that I have. Like, they're all wrapped up because I just didn't want to touch them. And I was like, all right, next time I see y'all, here's one tee. And they're looking at me like, are you serious? And one kid's like, what about the MJ one? I'm like, you're not touching that one. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
But I learned that from my boy Relentless, because he's like also a big sneakerhead. He's a B-boy as well. And he gave me sneakers at one point, and I was like, word. And it's like, it's about like just giving it down to somebody else that deserves it, right? So I kept that in mind, and that's why I wouldn't want to go into the resale situation where it's like, all right, let me just stock up or like get bots and then just buy everything as much as I can so I can make that extra 2 bills from each thing, right?
Right.
And I think it's so stressful. Like, I don't want to wake up at like, it's like, let's say I have like Thursday off and I don't want to wake up at 9, go to my laptop, put it on the Supreme website, 9:30 hits, boom, refresh until I could get to on the page. I was like, no, too much hassle. And the L's?
The L's, they just pile up.
The L's now are
L's.
so different. Back then, it was so easy to just go on the website and be like, I want that. Okay. Can I afford all of this? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Now I'm just like,
You're competing with bots.
Yeah, L's everywhere now.
Those bots are just absolutely stupid. So like your last purchase of Supreme was?
Okay, the Stone Island Riot jacket. That one I got for resale. Not for resale. I got it for retail value. Yeah.
I heard my homie said recently, retail is the new steel.
Yeah, hell yeah.
100%.
Because it's like, it's so crazy, resale prices.
Resale price? I'm like,
Especially for
how?
like a Stony Supreme collabo. Like,
Well, what was crazy? I think it was 2016. I think 2016 or 2017. Went to Supreme in New York. Went to New York with the fiance now. We went there. I saw an entire shelf of all Stone Island collabo hats, tees. I looked at it, and it was like the color changing one, like the temperature changing one. And I was like, that's stupid. I didn't want to buy it. And then now I thought about it, I was like, damn it. I could have just bought all of that. Like, and it was one of those days where I just walked in, because I remember it was like, obviously the Thursdays are always wild in New York, though.
the line is like
Always
3 different
wild.
blocks. It's like here,
3
next
different,
one, and the next
the
one.
Lafayette, oh my gosh, that line is disgusting. But I remember it was like, okay, we'll go on the Saturday, and like we just walked in, and I was like, oh, Stone Island, do I want that? Nah. do I want that T-shirt? Yeah, let's grab the tee. And that's it. But like, I never thought about Stony as like some big high end thing, not knowing its history too. Like, Stony has been around for a minute, and I was like, damn it, I missed my chance then. So then from that point on, I was like, I need to get anything right now.
So you have this passion for dance and culture as well too, and then you kind of put it all together, and then you start putting yourself in dance crews, and now you're performing on stage. Where do you feel like not where, sorry, how do you feel, sorry, when you're on stage and you're dancing with your crew or like a collective or whatever the case may be? What's that feeling like for you on stage? Like, do you feel pressure? Do you feel like you're at peace when you're on stage? How do you feel when you get to perform choreo or a piece that you feel very passionate about?
Ooh, that's a whole. There's been many moments. I'd say I've had moments where I felt like I was at peace because of things that were happening during that time in my life. It's like things were happening, and it felt like it was just a release of like, all right, I got an understanding. There have been moments where I'm always the guy that gets nervous before a performance. Like, I need to use the bathroom like 5 times. And it's like, why am I using the bathroom 5 times? I'm just like, I'm always nervous. Like, when it's something that I want to do or something that I feel proud of, that's where like the nerves come. But most of the times when it comes to performances, I'd say especially when I'm thinking about the moment and who I'm with, I tend to blank out and just let go. And then it's like after, like when it's done, I'm like, boom, like I blink and I was like, that just happened. And I'm like, I need to watch the clip. I don't know what I did. Whatever happened, I am so sorry. And everyone's like, no, you were good. I was like, no, I need to see. I might look like a fool right now, but yeah, it's always been like either at peace, or if it's a competition and you want to become like, if you want to get first, I'm so amped. I'm like, time to take shots. Yo, like, who are we taking down right now? Like, let's do it. Like, let's do this. And yeah, that's about it. I've only had one time where I've actually like broken down crying like during a performance, and like that was like, I'd say it's like my favorite moment.
Where was that at?
That was actually at our youth group. Yeah, it was like well, the cool thing is that like the youth group, like with their with their competitions and things, they had like this one year they had like tasks and objectives that you had to follow. So they'd be like, all right, you can only use one of these 5 songs, and that's it. Like, you can't use any other songs. And we're like, okay, say less. And then they did like 2 rounds. It would be like, top 5 make it to the second round. Second round, you're allowed to use one of these 3 songs, and then you get to choose your last song. So that crew, I remember our friend Ian O'Nilla, shout out,
Ian.
I see you, Ian.
Yeah.
He was like, for us, he was like the who should I say? He was like the Philip Geneza. He was like a Philip Geneza. He was just smooth, so smooth like butter. But he was like, all right, Aaron, we're gonna dance to Bleeding Love, and then I want you to crump in this one section. And like, it was wild. Like, I remember like the moment came, and then like the last part of the dance, I remember, I think it was like my little sister was in this dance, and I remember there's a moment where everyone comes over me and like they're just putting their hand on my shoulder, and I broke down. Like, I was like, wow. Like, powerful. I remember just crying. I was like, whoa.
I know you felt that?
Yeah. Because I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I haven't shared that moment with a lot of people. People are like, yo, do you ever cry when you crump? I was like, no. Yes, I have. Yes, I've had one moment like that has happened before.
That's beautiful, bro.
But yeah.
That's what dance can do for you. It's crazy.
It's a powerful thing,
soul
man.
to soul.
Soul to soul.
That's one of our sayings here.
Christian with the taglines.
Come on, bring it back. Yeah, it's crazy.
Hashtag that.
I feel like your dance journey, I don't want to say short, because I'm saying this short because you're super young. I mean, we're young, but like you're now talk to us about the transition of wanting to now do your own thing with your fiance for Run the Flex and open kind of your own company and do your own thing while you're still able to dance, you could book with the best of them, you could battle with the best of them. You're still very capable of like rocking with the top in the city or all over.
I don't know
But now
anymore. I feel like a grandpa nowadays.
No.
Yo, these knees are not the same knees. Like, oh my gosh.
I'll get to that after. I'll get to that after.
Okay.
But talk to us about that transition or that thought process of wanting to like, hey, let's open up our own thing and let's do this.
Okay. Ooh. It actually started, what was it, at the Underground Dance Center. Christina Della Cruz was the original beginner hip hop teacher there. And then I think it was when she started booking things in LA, she couldn't like teach anymore. So I think it was her or Leon or somebody was like, yo, Aaron could take over. And I was like, okay, I'll come in as a sub. And so that's where my journey like teaching within like the underground started. And so I'd say like maybe 2 or 3 years in, I started getting the exact same clientele over and over, like every week, like the same peeps would come, and that I started knowing them by their names. I'm like, yo, this is sick. I'm like, okay, we got a squad coming in. And I remember one of them, they asked after class, they're like, would you bring this dance back next week? And obviously in a drop-in format, who would want to bring the exact same dance again? Because you don't know if your clientele is going to be there with you the next week, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll see, you know? So I'd say this was 2017? Yeah, this was 2017 when we started. I ended up going on a trip with my fiance now. We went to Martinique with her parents, and her dad decided to give like this full-on business convo, just being like, yo, you could do things on your own. Like, you have the capabilities. So he started like actually being my business coach with Nicole on the side. Like, there you go, Nicole. I shout you out there.
Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Nicole.
Fiance.
My free round Ray. That's what I call her.
Free one, what's that?
My free round Ray.
Free Ron Ray?
Yeah.
Oh, you just like you just doing one of
I
these.
don't-
You just doing one of these.
So we like, I remember, it was like my first trip, I think in like a few years that I got to leave the country and just take a break from teaching and take a break from dance. And like that week, I remember just like out on we're on the balcony, hear the birds chirp and the ocean's just there, and you smell the salt air and you're like, this feels good. And like, we just like actually broke down everything. It's like, okay, you have these clienteles. This is what you need to do. Oh, you want to become an entrepreneur? This is what you need to do. And I'm like, I don't know if I could be an entrepreneur. I don't know. And they're like, you could do this. So I think it was like, we got back from that trip, and then Nicole helped me with like setting up like a whole like business plan to go with it. It's like, all right, you got to get this account, you got to do this, you got to get these emails, just mention it, see what happens. And then I remember the first class we did, we were like also wondering, it's like, how do we do this? Like, how do we run a program? Like, what's a long program? And I remember we're like going with like 4 weeks, and I was like, 4 weeks is too long. And we're like, okay, 2 months. I'm like, that's 8 weeks. I don't know if I want to teach for 8 weeks. And they're like, what's the middle? And we're like, 6. And we're like, okay, we're sticking to 6 weeks. I'm like, that's a good chunk of time that we could work this out. And the reason why it all happened too, because I remember like the biggest reason as to me becoming a teacher and like teaching was in grade 12, my writer's craft teacher, his name is Mr. Malatesta. I remember he was like, you have to do this one ISU project. So an independent study unit, for those that don't know what an ISU is, all right? And I remember he was like, this is writer's craft. So you think that we're going to be like writing our own novels, doing all these things? He's like, I want you to like choreograph a dance. And I'm like, choreograph a dance? And he's like, yeah, that's body language. You're speaking with your body. I'm like, okay, say less. And then as I was presenting this, I remember he was like, all right, so do you have like a thesis that you want to explain like about your choreography? And I'm like, yeah, I feel that with the right tools, anybody can dance. And you could teach everybody to dance. And then he actually rebutted. He's like, are you sure about that? And I was like, yeah, everybody can dance. And then this is what he said. I'm not saying this is what he said. He's like, what about the white people? Can they dance too? And I was like, yeah, they can dance
Yes,
too.
they can.
They
Yes, they
can
can
dance
dance.
too. I'm like, anybody can dance. He's like, I don't believe you. So then that actually stuck with me for a really long time. I'm like, I'm gonna make anybody dance. I don't care. It's gonna happen. So that was actually the root cause of Run the Flex to begin with, where it's like, we just want to give the tools to anybody to just jam out. I don't want to be the guy just standing against the wall, post up with my gin and tonic, moody and crap, while everyone's having the time of their lives on the dance floor. So we started that. We got like 30 people to come through. It was actually a vibes. It was so sick because everyone was just like in it to just have fun and just to learn something and like build a craft and like just know how to like build from there. And what we did too that was like so hype is that like after 6 weeks, we took everyone out. And then like we took everyone out and went to Sneaky D's. I'm like, we're going to Sneaky D's on a Wednesday night because that's hip hop night. That's how I also met my fiance, by the way. That's how we met. And then, yeah, we just had a jam. And I remember it was so sick because, like, it was like 9-to-5ers, people of all ages, different backgrounds. You'd look at them and you're like, you're not a dancer. And it's like, but they can hold it down. And, like, they made their own circle, bust out moves. I was like, this is the sickest thing in the world.
That's dope. That's
and
dope.
So that was, like, the birth. And, like, now we're going into, like, year 5 coming up. And it's just
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, man.
Keep it
Congrats.
going.
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
So you have all these like elite dancers in the city all at one kind of place. Now, when you're performing on stage with these individuals and you're like, all right, I'm on stage with so-and-so, or I'm dancing for like Shavar's piece, or I'm dancing in a AC Mensa piece. Is there ever like this like sense of like, yo, like I'm in like a really good space right now. Like I deserve to be here on this stage with this people.
actually my first industry performance. I was 19, and it was with Matthew Cuff, so Snoopy. So Busy at that time, I think Busy gave my name to. There was this one Vogue. Her name was Star Monroe, and then he gave my name to her. She gave it to Snoopy. And this was, Bazaar was the one, too.
Bazaar.
Bazaar was a
love Bazaar.
flex. Like,
Yeah.
the themes were epic. And I remember that Bazaar was, like, my eye-opening to the entire industry because that was, like, the superhero theme. So Snoop, in that cast, it was Shavar, Shavar, Irvin, who else was in it? Justin David, Kyle Cass, and then myself. Snoopy didn't dance in it. And then AC was in it. I think Lauren Lynn was in
Shout
it.
out Artist in Motion. Come
Wow.
on.
Yeah, it was a whole squad. And I remember because I was 19 and then I was like, I think it was like one rehearsal. There was one rehearsal. We were all together and it was at, oh my gosh, Joy of Dance. I remember. And then I walked in and I'm like, who are all these people? But at the same time, I was 19 thinking I'm the ish, being like in the community dance world. I was dancing with C2 and like we're also doing competitions and all this and that. And like, oh yeah, I got to teach at, DLM at one point. So I felt boost. And so walking into that rehearsal, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm with like OGs and like top tier dancers. And then I remember that performance and I was like, who am I to everyone here? I felt like a peasant in a room of royalty. Like that's what it felt like. And then I'd say like maybe it was right 2012, 2013 was like the year where I was like, okay, I think I'm like in my prime or just reaching it. Like I'm now understanding everything about dance, even like my creativity, how my body moves. I'm like, I got this. But then I also got into an accident and like mashed up my knee. Like it was so bad. And I remember I was like depression for like 6 months. And like it was cool that Shavar was like around to like keep me up and be like, all right, still come to rehearsals. Like don't stop like coming. Just be in the room. Keep yourself in that mentality. And he actually gave me a chance to choreograph for one of his choreo balls. And I had a broken leg, and he's like, you can't do anything on that one leg. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you got to create with a cane. And I was like, okay, let me create with a cane. And then it was actually pretty sick.
Your knee injury is a perfect segue. Talking about injuries as a dancer, and not saying like you're prone to, like it was unfortunate an accident, but like you've been able to, or have been able to, like rest up, heal, get back at it, and then it happened again, if I'm not mistaken. You had just the one injury, just the one knee
I
injury?
just had the one. It was like, because in high school and like a bit before, like I started taking dance seriously, I had a few incidents where I like messed up my knee, but it was just like minor that I was like, okay, my body's going to heal after this. It was that was the one where I was like, you got to get surgery. And that was like the time I was like, oh, this is
Serious.
an actual injury.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that, oh gosh, I still remember.
Have you had any dance injuries?
Nah.
Okay, good.
I mean, like, not injuries. I've been hurt.
Yeah.
Pull something, but no breaks, no bust ups.
Right.
So I'm good.
Talk about just like the mental strength to come back to that, right? Because I've seen you on stage after you've had the knee brace on. Like I've seen you in that motion in that time, and then you're back on stage, and it's like, yo, bro, like I'm so happy that you're back on stage and you're just living your truth.
I remember you used to be scared for my life. You're like, yo, shouldn't you be resting? Like, why are you dancing full out in that dance? Are you wearing your knee brace? But you weren't the only one. A lot of people are like, are you okay? Like, are you good? Like,
because we care for you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, thanks. Even Shavar would be like, are you wearing your knee braces? Okay. You can go full out now.
Braces.
Right.
Like, yeah, I had to wear like 2 knee braces because like it started messing up on the. So it was the right knee that got messed up, and then I overcompensated on my left, and I was like, oh God, this sucks. But like, yeah, it was like, I'd say like the mental stress, like obviously the first, because how it happened, we had a rehearsal. It was actually a rehearsal. We started rehearsal for choreo ball with TMI like months before that. Nope, lies. It was like the month before choreo ball.
TMI is the male initiative for those that do not know.
You're
just so you know.
TMI to my trust. Met a lot of my brothers in that one. But I remember, what was it? Because I also thought I was bulletproof. I thought I was invincible. And then I remember, who was it? Alan Rowe. He was like the B-boy of the squad at that time.
Shout out to Alan.
Yeah, come on.
Alan also got the kicks too. I see you with your kicks, especially your breads. I see those breads. He was doing like some floor work, and then me being the guy that's like, I'm a sponge. Like, I want to learn how to touch the floor. I want to learn how to be a B-boy. Like, let's do this. So we started doing some floor work, and then Shavar was like, all right, from the top. And then like as soon as I got up, like we stopped, and he gave us a talk. He's like, all right, we're going to do it one more time from the top all the way through. I was like, okay, cool. Got up. That was it.
Done.
Just by standing up.
Just by standing up.
Gave up.
Like my knee just gave up. So it was probably something I did on the floor that I didn't know, like subconsciously. And I was like, boom, that was it. And like that night, oh, it was so gruesome because like I ended up, see, this is me. Dumb Aaron should have just taken a cab home. But I ended up taking the TTC home with a bus knee.
You're one of these, you're a buck.
No, like I was like on the one seat, one leg is straight. Like it was in so much pain, and I'm just like, okay, just deal with it. Just deal with it. You're gonna go home right now. And I remember it wasn't until I got to my parents' place, I called my little sister, and I'm like, yo, I'm in pain right now. Can you help me? She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I think I messed up my knee. And she's like, okay. She came down, and she's like, I'll give you a piggyback ride up. And I was like, my baby sis ain't giving me no piggyback ride right now. So she actually tried in the beginning, and I was like, nah. And so she had to actually like help me get home. Like, so she had to meet me at the lobby of our parents' building, carry me for like part way, and then like bring me up. And then we had to take the elevator up and everything. And like a 2-minute travel felt like 5 years. Like it felt so long. But yeah, that whole time it was just, I went through the blues. I was 20? I was 22, turning 23. Thought I was like, this was it. Ended up being like, okay, nope. That's the universe. That's God saying, nah, bro, get back to earth. I was so down. Ended up asking somebody to get me some beers. And it was just Netflix and beers for like a week. Like, I couldn't even go to work. I was just like, nope, I'm just chilling at home. Like, I was so cheese.
But coming out of it now, though, in retrospect, what would you say to someone, a dancer who's either battling an injury or coming out of an injury and is afraid to like go back out and do what they love?
You're not alone. That's the first thing. The cool part about it is like when I got injured, Daniel Keith Morrison just came out of an injury. DKM. He came out of an injury. So he saw me in crutches and he's like, yo, what happened? And I explained to him. He's like, oh, your meniscus. Oh, snap. That's bad. And then he like gave me full details. Like he'd message me, be like, "Are you okay? Like this is what you got to do. Go to physio." I'm like, "All right, cool." And I was like, it was cool because like now I knew people that had that injury and like what I'm capable of doing afterwards. Natalie Nestorenko, she was also a physiotherapist, and she like I remember Shavar like messaged her immediately, and then she explained it's like, okay, it's a torn meniscus, so he's gonna have to do A, B, C, and D. So it's like I kept that all in my mind, and I'm like, I remember like rehearsals at that time, when rehearsals were happening, I'd be like sitting there, and I'm like, I'd like just get onto my crutches. I'm like, I need to use the bathroom. I'll go up to I don't know who it was, and I'm like, yo, once I'm healthy, I'm coming for your buff, bro. Like I'm coming for your buff. Like,
You're coming for your buff.
like I'm taking this, and they're like, oh, say word. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm here. I'm learning. And I remember it was like, Irv and Shavar were there, and they're like, try and learn the choreo sitting down. Just learn it. Just learn it and visualize yourself doing it. So I kept on doing that a lot, just like learning it and then just visualizing myself how I would dance that.
Some Michael Jackson Soul Train vibes.
Oh, 100.
He did the whole Remember the Time video in the chair. The whole chair. It was still a vibe. And everyone's like, yo, go, Michael. Go, Michael. I was like, yo, Michael's the god. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's all good. So if I were to, like, anybody that's going through an injury, I'd say it's like, take the time for your body to rest. Love your body first. Accept what has happened, but don't linger in it. Like, you're allowed to be in the moment of it, but never let it overcome and, like, overpower every decision you make. Like, because for me, for a while, it was like, all right, we're going to touch the ground. Especially Leon's classes, like, after the injury, it's like, okay, we're going to touch the ground. I'm like, no. Nope, we're not touching the ground. He's like, all right, Aaron's going to stand. I'm like, I'm going to stand right here. I'm just going to stand. You know what? I'm going to be in the back and just dance in the back right now. And just like, yeah. And it's like, obviously I've learned from the injury. Like I understood my body even more, understanding my weight shift. And like, that was like one of the coolest things ever, because before that I had no idea. Like I really didn't like take in everything and understand my body to the fullest until that injury happened. So for anybody that's going through an injury, please take care of yourself. Keep that mindset that it's just temporary, right? But there's also other ways. Like you could still do dances on a chair. You could still learn dances. Like just keep that mindset going. Practice as much as you can. Stretch as much as you can. But like, yeah, don't linger in that. Don't. It's a very dark place.
Those are some great points, because as dancers, we just want to go. Especially when you're in Toronto and you just like, you don't want to miss out.
100.
You don't want to miss out on whatever audition or a performance or whatever. But like, your body is your moneymaker if you're a dancer. And being good is one thing, but understanding your body to the fullest is a whole other thing. You gotta be resilient up here for sure. And it's great that you had the support. You know, Toronto's not always known for supporting, you know.
Screwface City.
Oh, yeah.
With everything.
Yeah, but the fact that you had those people behind you asking you, how are you doing, letting you know tips and tricks that you can do just to keep you there, that's a great thing for Toronto and for you. I think that's awesome. Super dope.
Super dope, man. Because it's good to see that you've just keep on pushing and the encouragement. Like again, anytime I saw you, I'm like, come on, Aaron. Like, you know,
Be careful.
Be careful, please. Be careful, please. Can you just shed some light? Sorry for proper English. My apologies. Shed some light. What are some of your top 3 choreo ball moments, either watching or being on stage? Because there's been some pretty intense choreo ball moments down at the Mod Club, which unfortunately is no longer. But we'll get back to that another day. What are some of the moments that you remember from choreo ball? Or it could be a bazaar or Fever After Dark, whatever, some Toronto moments that you remember.
Ooh. Actually, the started from the bottom Shavar set was like actually one of my like top 3. That one, I think also because I got to choreograph. Like it was like the first time he was like, you want to choreograph this? I was like, me? Like very Professor Snape, like, you want me? I'm an assistant choreographer? What? So, yo, this is sick. So that moment, Yeah, and there was like one little thing in there. I remember I try to find my inner like TMI Magic Mike moment, and I was like, wow, that moment was scarring now. If I watch it again, I was like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? That was one. What was it? Another one. What's another one? Choreo balls. You know what? Well, I didn't get to see it like in person, but even watching the video for like Icebox, like when Mark had his Jesus hair,
Yeah.
Man,
It was wavy, bro.
That long coolie hair. I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
man.
Yeah.
I remember, I forgot who showed me the video, and I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
This is sick. And that was Opera House too.
Yeah.
Opera House,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
And
That
poor quality too.
poor quality, but it still looks sick. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that was like what,
video.
Motorola flip phone, like just quality.
Yeah.
Just like that was it.
Talk to us along those lines. Like, where do you feel dance or Toronto dance is going? Do you feel like we're in a transitional phase? Where would you like to see it go? Like, just talk to us about where it's at right now.
I don't know. It's a very like,
Where do you want to see it go?
I want to see it similar to Montreal. Similar to Montreal in a sense that there's so many movements, so many things happening, but everyone's like me. You know, it's about me. Like, I'm going to do me, you do you. That's cool. But I don't think there's like a unison. Like, there's no unity, or like everyone's like pushing each other or like just supporting each other. I think there's going to be times, though, like I feel it, that everyone's just going to be like, Toronto's going to come together and it's going to be Avengers Assemble. Like, that's what it's going to be.
And then it'll be a problem.
And it's going to be a problem. Like, I
everybody.
think it almost got to that point. Like, when Millennium came through, that's where I was like, oh, Toronto's going to be on the map now. Not just as like, it's not New York or it's not LA, but it's in Canada and you can take classes there. It's like, it was like one of those moments I was like, oh, okay, things are about to get serious if we had that. And then sucks that it didn't. Like, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
RIP. But
Yeah.
But the people that came from that, I feel like, you know, from, not saying came from Millennium, but I'm saying people who were there teaching and where the space, to your point, Christian, where it's at. I feel like when you have Amanda Mae Wilson and her talent and her caliber, and Benjamin and like all these like younger people like Alex Panetta, like,
Paul Mula.
you know, like Paul Mula, like
cheeses my spirit all the time.
there is like a real hub of strong Toronto talent. So this is Christian's question to you. I'm just echoing that. Like, I hope that, like, to your point.
That's why I'm like, I hope. I feel like there's a gut feeling that something is gonna happen where everyone's just gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be this compared to like just everyone spread out and do your own thing. Because I think that's what it is right now, which is understandable. Obviously, we were in a big pandemic. Now we're in stage 3. Yes. But like, yeah, everyone was like, all right, got to do my thing right now. But I think everyone has done enough of doing their own thing that we now have to start finding ways of collaborating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring that hunger back.
Bring that hunger
Bring
back.
that hunger back for everybody.
I don't know about you.
I kind of feel hungry.
I'm feeling.
Is it time? What's time? Oh, okay. Whoa, yo. Askidly diddly daddly diddly 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 yo. Yup.
And we want to welcome you to what we call Potty Chat Them.
To chat.
This is a nice little segment in our show where we like to do some rapid fire questions while enjoying.
I am the party.
Oh yeah. Tell them, Christian. Well, yeah, I'm the patty. So right now you're drinking a ting. I love ting. Yes.
Oh my god.
So Christian, where we having with these patties are from where today?
Golden Patty in Kensington Market. Shout out to them. Yeah, great tasting patties, lots of different flavors. So if you're ever in Kenzie, go check them out.
Go check
Golden
them out.
Patty.
Less.
Golden patties. So basically, we're going to be eating the patty. Sorry, let me refresh that. We're going to yam the patty.
I was waiting for
I
that.
was gonna-
You're eating?
we don't eat the patty. We yam the patty while we ask you the rapid fire question. So if you do have a patty, while you're eating the patty and you get to answer the question, we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that for Our good old
We got our
fashioned.
little questions in our
Challenge
YouTube here.
Stussy hat over here.
Oh, we got Stussy hat.
Stussy hat today.
All right, you ready? How's the patty so far?
I love it.
All right,
So good.
here we go. Question
I
one.
miss beef patties.
All right, let's do this. Where we at?
You go. No, you go.
Worst sneaker purchase.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a cold wall, AF ones, the vegan leather one,
The black ones?
the black ones. I got a black pair.
One thing I like to buy that I haven't bought yet is
A Supreme suitcase.
money.
Money.
But I ain't gonna do it. That's a lot of money right there.
What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Dishes.
Your fiance is listening, by the way, just so you know that. Anyways, a dance style you'd like to learn.
Whacking. Definitely want to put
You
that.
eating dog?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I had to I had to make sure I could talk while I'm eating. Okay.
Summer or winter?
Winter. Hundo.
Music nowadays is.
Cute.
That's a good answer.
Love it.
Cute. Yeah.
My most prized shoe is
Dunk highs from Goodfoot. They're like teal, purple, and green.
What's worse, shoe scuff or spilled milk, or spilled drink? Sorry, not milk.
Shoe scuff or spilled?
Drink.
like on the shoe.
What's worse?
Ooh. Spilled drink. 100.
Blank and blank would be a dream collaboration.
In what sense?
Any sense you want.
Could be fashion. Could be.
Could be. Okay.
Dance, fashion, sneakers.
Pokemon and Supreme. I want to see that. I want to see that for sure.
Nothing kills creativity quicker than.
Doubt.
Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Hot coffee.
They don't make blank like they used to. What was that thought? What was that
Yeah.
thought? I want to.
I don't know why. The first thing came in my head were cupcakes. That was the first thing. I love cupcakes. They don't make them the same anymore.
When I was younger, kids made fun of.
My ears.
It would be a dream come true to work with.
Idris Elba.
Cool.
I thought you were going to say Chris Brown. I'm not going to lie.
Nah, I want to meet Idris Elba. He's my future self.
A dance style that shouldn't be.
Oh my gosh, people are gonna hate me for this one. Shuffling. I hate that. Oh, I'm like, it's the Running Man, bro.
TV or movie?
TV.
Ninjas or pirates?
Ninjas. Oh wait. That was like a Johnny Depp or yo, I do love my pirates. But ninjas.
New clothes or a new phone?
Phone.
Best sneaker purchase?
Concord 11s.
Sweet or salty?
Both. Together.
Name 3 must-have sneakers.
I'm very classic. I do. Oh, lies. AF ones, obviously, on the list. Always wear them forever and ever. Sperry's, like Sperry Dons. And then Jordan ones.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
I was blank in high school.
I was shy.
Beach or mountain?
Mountain.
Blank is pure bliss.
Red velvet cake.
I think weed is.
Oh, blessing.
Blank is a style icon.
Most deaf.
The last.
Style icon?
Most Def, yeah. If you gotta look at like how Most Def dressed before he changed his name, my guy, like even when he was on like Black Star, like when Black Star was a thing together, his style was so lit. Like he had different outfits all the time.
Sorry, Christian. Sorry.
It's all good. The last album I bought physically was
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
The key to success is
Just go. Just do it.
come on, Nike. TikTok is
The future. Part of the future.
last question.
Say less.
In 10 years, I see myself.
Being great. Period. That's just
You're
it.
already great.
period.
No cap.
No.
I'm not taking off my cap.
Well, Aaron, I hope you enjoyed
Oh,
this segment here we call
thank
Patty
you.
Chat. We definitely want to thank you for coming on the show, taking time to answer the questions, giving people some insight more about you and obviously your company, Run the Flex. Just talk to the people about where can they find you, social media tags, or how can they see what you got coming up?
Okay. Tags wise, IG Aaron X Aquino. That's AARONXAQUINO. Even though that's not my full my full name, it's just because it's short enough. Or you could follow also on IG Run the Flex at Run the Flex, literally spelled out the way it is. And also I do have a TikTok account with my fiance, which I'm not great. Like I don't like TikTok, but I see where it's going. That one, our TikTok is Aaron and Nick. It's actually pretty cute. I like it sometimes. And then upcoming things. Right now we're doing a bunch of outdoor classes just because we wanted to see what our clientele felt like with being back in studio and things. And they do like being outdoors right now. So we're focusing on doing like pop-up classes throughout like every Thursdays. Next month, we're probably going to have a few guest teachers come in. So yeah, just be on the lookout either on my page or on Run the Flex for like upcoming details on that. But that's it.
We like that. So Christian, you want to say anything else, bro?
No, man, we appreciate you. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We thank you guys. Kicks on Stage, we want to say thank you, everyone, for checking out
Yeah.
this episode. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for tuning into this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on those post notifications so you know every time we drop a video. We appreciate you guys coming through. Justin, you got something to say?
No, that was good.
All right, we out.
Peace.